Hello! In this video, I'm going to go over my favorite stylized render and learning resources. Why? Because of the awesomeness factor, and that's a technical term. But really, the films like Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse and more recently the Mitchells versus the Machines were really inspiring. Also franchises like the Borderlands. But on a personal note, I'm doing a deep dive this summer into virtual production research. And so in this video, what I'm going to share my favorite marketplace examples, including several amazing free resources. I'll also give a checklist that I use for not only getting started building my own, as well as some of my own tutorials, but also it can be used to rapidly let you put the marketplace examples I'll share into action. Then a big list of learning links that I'll put into a Google Doc, and I'll put that in the notes below. All right, so really the marketplace examples that I'm going to share, they cover a lot of the cell shading, VHS, glitch looks, ASCII, pixelated, just beautiful different variety of looks. If you had a chance to pick it up, the Chameleon post process is really worth checking out. And I'll go over a few of the videos. Also, the Advanced Cell Shader Lite is free and it's got a lot of great looks. The Post Process Shader Pack by Tom Shannon. It's amazing. It's got some really great looks inside of it. And then also, it's worth checking out some of the images inside of the post-process line by the Jiffy Crew. And then finally, as a mechanic, the Survivor Vision, the Advanced Outline, it was also like the Chameleon process. It was also recently free. So you may have like grabbed it, but not really dug into either of those two. And they've got some really great examples, and they also are a great springboarding point for looking at what they've provided and building your own. And that really goes into the next topic that I wanted to mention, which is the use, learn, choice issue, right? I mean, when you're moving fast in the production world, it's really good to make sure that you are not reinventing the wheel. And so sometimes going back and looking at the options of things that other people have made and seeing if you can build onto or mod those is great. But the key thing is that you need to have a core knowledge under your belt in order to like make those actually work. And really these render buffer options that I'm going to talk about can go into a lot of different areas. Stylized and look dev, you can also use them as interface elements. So things like if your character is getting damaged, or even selections for user interface, not to mention the game mechanics. And then finally, I'm going to put some resources in the end and talk about, they are a little bit expensive on the rendering side for real time. And so there is a bit of optimization you can do with them as well. And not only that, but there's the potential for, if you're doing deferred renders where you're not using real time, and how they're even better than RGB masks, which I've used in the past. So I'll put a link to that tutorial as well. And, also the render queue resource. So what I've all been talking about is the MVK, or minimum viable knowledge, in order to sort of springboard between knowing enough to build sort of the basics, which then sort of allow you to branch out and mod some of the more intermediate or advanced. And then while you're doing that, you also learn a lot. Okay, so let me go over the checklist that I use. So first, it's the project settings. Then you go into the rendering tab, post-processing, custom depth stencil pass, and then you enable with stencil. Also, just pointing out the view modes, there's the optimization view modes. There's also the buffer visualization. And the buffer visualization has a lot there that you can check out, including the 2 custom buffer visualization areas. Okay, so then you need to turn on the custom depth pass on your assets. And you can also modify a custom depth stencil value. Then you need to create a new material with a post-process set in its material domain. Also, the other key thing that, especially if you're going to be doing a depth-based, custom depth base, you want to make sure that you get your temporal anti-aliasing calculated before the tone mapping. Otherwise, you're going to notice a lot of jitter, and that's not by default. So I'll show how to set that. And then you're going to probably need the scene texture nodes. The post-process input 0 is the sort of node that you're going to use to refer back to sort of the base level rendering in Unreal. But you almost always will need some sort of component mask, usually because you're piping out or converting from 2 to 3. And then next you might need a custom stencil or a custom depth. All right. So also, I'm going to throw in a link to, in terms of look development, some of the resources in the marketplace have tons of LUTs built in. But if you don't want to pay for those, I'm going to put a link in for a tutorial that I made that has a link for an additional 60 LUTs you can download for your own archive. And then post-process materials in terms of an overview of the different resources. There's a, how do you build an edge outline on an object? There's also a warp material. So meaning like you can have animated warp materials. The one that I'm showing here shows off a tutorial that I built for how do you make warping water effects. So like if you're swimming underwater or something, or maybe in another video just recently I intensified the effect to make it feel like you were a little drunk. For some of this workflow, you may or may not want to look back at RGB texture packing. Also, it ties into some of the work I'm doing this summer on composure. So I did a composure tutorial. And not to mention, several years back, there's a really great article. I mean, it's built in. You can actually extract it now if you want from Unreal. But he talks about sort of the use cost scenarios in the article. Not to mention how to create masks with the custom stencil buffer. There's a two tips and tricks videos that Epic released. And also, if you're going to do deferred renders, the voucher video, and then also custom depth by Ryan Lawley. And then finally, Unreal Art Optimization. So the book by Oskar Schvedet. So he goes over a lot, and you have a choice. He has a whole online text you can read, as well as his YouTube channel, Tech Art Aid. It's a great channel if you're very TD oriented. So he goes over the GPU visualizer and also, all the rendering passes. There's another article I'm including too by Kostas. And finally, of course, the Unreal docs. All right. Well, awesome. That is an overview, and I will post the links. Thanks so much for checking this out. We'll see you in the next video.